Trent Stinkle. He's a junior here at LNA. He'll share with you his mentorship experience.
As you just heard, I will be sharing with you my STEM mentorship experience. First off, what I'm going to be talking about with you today, I'm going to be talking about who I am. So what I'm passionate about, what exactly I do sometimes, and who I am right now currently in school. And next I'll talk about the 3 steps in funding a project or just creating a project that I like to use and that I was taught during the STEM membership. And I also want to explain the difference between a team leader and a mentor. I'd also like to share my experiences and my takeaways during this mentorship. So first off, who am I? Well, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Trent Stinkle. I am currently working on Eagle Scout. So I am a Life Scout right now. I'm currently filing my paperwork and waiting for a ceremony in order to be able to continue on to be an Eagle Scout. And I'm also a goalie and a swimmer on this LNA school athlete club pretty much. So on the goalie for the soccer team, our team got first team all district. So what that means is we won the entire district out of our 3rd division. And I got first team all district as a goalie. So that means I was the top goalie almost that there possibly could be. And for all state, I was honorable mention. So that means I was at least good enough to be mentioned for being close enough to all state team. And swim, I was just a swimmer, nothing too special yet. Hopefully something can happen. And I'm a tubist in the school band, both on concert and marching band. And I was good enough to be able to be on the honor band. I'm currently a junior in high school. I'm a top 25% of my class. I'm taking advanced classes, and currently, as of right now, my hobbies are photography. So I'll be talking to you about feasibility, schematic, and PS&E. I'm pretty much sure you already know what those are, but I'll explain how I use them during my STEM mentorship. So as the catapult I passed around that you saw, we had to take in mind how we were going to build a catapult. We needed to know the basic level of thought of what we were going to do, how we were going to build it, and exactly what materials we needed. We also had a time limit we needed to know, and what exactly we needed to do. So once we were planning that, then we started to come up with ideas on how we were going to build that. So we came up with ideas, we started building, and then maybe if we didn't like it, we started taking it apart. As you can probably see, there are probably a few parts where it's been dismantled. And it's just basically finding out what kind of different projects do what. So some might launch it further with more materials, some might launch it less with less materials. We wanted to find like the even middle. And finally, for PS&E with our catapult, we're finding the last project. So as you can see, that is our last project. It's by far the best one that I've seen. Not to humble, but me and my friends, Cameron, we took a lot of time, a lot of resources, and just a lot of thought to put that together, and it really paid off. So next is what a team leader and a manager is to me. So I view myself as a team leader. I see myself as a team leader because I'm also a vice president on the student council for a junior, but mostly because of Scouts. Scout just showed me how to lead, how to teach, and how to just make sure everything's going smoothly with everyone happiest as possible. A team leader is by far, I think, very special to me because it shows me how to do something, how something works, and just exactly how I need to get done. And the STEM membership has showed me exactly how to be a better team leader as well. And a manager. I see a manager very simple as well, not simple, but very close to a team leader. A manager can be a team leader, but the only few differences I see between a manager is that they have to get goals and set requirements they have to submit to their boss. So they need to submit a cost estimate, a plan set, and stuff like that in order to be able to continue with the project. But they also focus on providing the best resources and environment possible for their people so they can continue to develop further and grow more as a person. I'll talk about my experiences next. First was the bridges. So our bridges was supposed to be a truss bridge. It wasn't exactly that. Our bridge was basically a tube built out of straws. We didn't understand how to do a truss bridge. So at the very final thoughts, we put what seems to be a triangle on the bridge to act as a truss. But it doesn't work as a truss whatsoever. But later on, whenever we start seeing everybody else's bridges, we start seeing how truss bridges actually play an effect. As you can see right here, it's actually more like a truss bridge than our looking triangle thing. So I really like that experience. And drones was by far my favorite one. Drones was, I love the technology in it. The surveying that they do, it takes thousands of pictures on this very high up, and it just takes a lot of different pictures. It's able to see the elevation, the valleys, different areas where it needs improvement and stuff like that. The only bad thing about these drones, I think the drones last for about 20 minutes with all those batteries, something like that. So with about 6 batteries, that drone lasts about 20 minutes, and I feel like there could be a lot better ways to do that, but I don't know anything about that. So catapults, as I shared earlier, catapults was one of my favorites as well. Catapults showed me how to lead, how to understand creativity in a sense where I needed to understand how to build a catapult, how effectively it works. And so I didn't want to copy someone because I understand how it works, because I like to understand how things work before I build them. So that helps me a lot. Catapults was a very fun experiment, and I loved being able to show it off that we got the furthest distance. In levee. While the levee wasn't exactly my favorite, it did show me exactly what levees do. So with levee, we did clay and sponges, and we had this little river, bayou kind of thing going through. And it showed the water whenever we poured the water, where the water went throughout the town almost. And it showed us if we needed to make parting rivers off the original river. And it showed us if we needed to make the walls higher or if we needed to elevate the towns more. And lastly, my takeaways. I took away so much from this STEM mentorship. First off, leadership. As I shared earlier, I'm almost an Eagle Scout, so I already learned a lot of leadership from that. But this STEM membership helped me understand what exactly I could do better on the leadership, because at first I wasn't exactly understanding how to lead in this type of environment because I was new to everything. So this helped me understand a lot more on that. And interviewing. Interviewing helped me understand how to greet people firmly with a firm handshake, eye contact, and basically just being able to sit there without closing yourself up, being nervous, and being anxious. And experience. Experience and creativity, I fit almost in the same category. Because without experience, or without creativity, I don't think I could have experience. Because I feel like I would just copy people, I would copy like the bridges. I would copy someone's bridge, I would continue to make it like they do, and I wouldn't have any experience in order to create new versions of the bridge, better versions, anything that would be able to help me improve the bridge. So I feel like those two are very helpful in the same sense. I feel they are right next to each other. And lastly, career ideas. I already had an idea of what I wanted to be before I went to the STEM membership. As of whenever coming into it, I wanted to be an engineer right off. So I don't know exactly what type of engineer. I don't know if it's civil engineer, mechanical engineer, aerospace engineer, but I wanted to do something with my hands. I also love the technology that is involved. As you can see with the drones, how it would be my favorite. I love the technology, I love the creativity, because with engineering, you can make practically anything you need to. And as of right now, coming out of it, I want to do either business or engineering. I love the business sense of leading someone, leading a group of people, and just helping them understand how something works, them having new fun things to do. And lastly, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank the mentors for coming and teaching us new things, which I can't explain how much that actually means to me. I'd like to thank the guest speakers, especially Greg for the drones. I love those drones so much. They were by far one of my favorite things. I'd like to thank Quiddity for setting this all up. That it was a very special opportunity for me because I kept asking Mr. Dowling if there was something I could do, because I wanted to do coding right off the bat too, but this helped me show new ideas. I'd like to thank Ms. Hepp and Mr. Dowling for both introducing me to this and keeping me staying in this. And lastly, I'd like to thank my Mimi and Papa for allowing me to continue with this membership and start off as well. So yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation. Any
Question for
questions?
Mr. Stinkle. This Mr. Stinkle.
I had a question. You said at the end there that you at first thought you wanted to do coding.
Yes, sir.
So everything that you were talking about, everything that you were, describing, you gotta code all of it.
Yes.
Right, I mean, so there's coding involved in every aspect of it. It's just a different phase, right? So this experience, you were seeing the end result of what the coding and the technology is doing. How do you see that initial thought of engineering and coding after the experience?
Well, as of right now, I'm not too keen on doing coding just solely, because I actually do love working with my hands. I don't feel like I could sit behind an office or behind a computer all day long for a living, just typing away. I really love
Still
working.
your hands, though,
Hmm?
right? You're just doing minutes.
I'm gonna get carpal tunnel from this too. No, but I really love it all. I do love coding, but I feel as now coding is something that can also be taught by AI. So it's not only a thing that I feel like I would get replaced easily, but with this, I feel like engineering was something you can involve both hands-on work and coding into at the same time. So I love it at the same time. Any other questions?
So you talked about leadership and leaders versus managers. Which do you think is more important, a leader or a manager? That's not a fair question. I'll start with that as a follow-up. That's not a fair question.
No, yeah. I honestly think a manager is more important. While a team leader does get things done, they also work with people. So they also can be not strict at the same time. So a team leader has some leeway they could give to, which I feel like in the end, since I actually have experience leading with people on scouts, I can give this as an example. I start giving people some leeway, they start go like roughhousing, they go playing somewhere else. I feel like that isn't a suitable way to get things done. So I do like management, that's why I said business too as a career idea, because I like the idea of not necessarily, it's not the bad guy. I know a lot of people see it as a bad guy, but they're just working the same as you. They just need to get everything done, but they also want to make sure you're growing and learning at the same time. So I do think a manager is more important.
Good answer, thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you, Chuck.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.